Alright, people. Well, you got 8-4 Oklahoma. And you got 9-3 Clemson playing in their bowl game. In the Russel Athletic Bowl. Should be interesting. A couple of former assistants that used to be on the same staff together. Now butting heads. With Brent Venables out of Kansas State. And Mike Stoops from Iowa, of course, came back to Oklahoma. More than likely, is what everybody's saying, basically took the defensive coordinator job away from Coach Brent Venables. So you got that going on. You got a guy that came into Clemson, didn't really know what to expect, kind of the dark horse, came in and rammed that job and did very well again, finishing 9-3. Sounds a lot like Bob Stoops, doesn't it? Well, the records sound alike. The teams sound alike. The only thing that isn't alike here are the colors. Coming up next, we'll break down the Russel Athletic Bowl between our Oklahoma Sooners and the Clemson Tigers. Stay tuned, everybody. Should be good. Welcome back to the preview of the Russel Athletic Bowl. The where will be in Orlando, Florida for the Russel Athletic Bowl this year. Russel Athletic Bowl 2013 season. Who's the Oklahoma Sooners? Boomer Sooner Bay. And the Clemson Tigers. On Monday, December 29th, 2014, ESPN will have the channel. Weather is supposed to be fairly nice tomorrow. High 70s, mid to late 80s. Pretty nice weather out in Orlando if you're heading out there. The broadcast team for the Sooner Radio Network. Play-by-play man will be my close personal friend, Toby Rowland. And listen to him. His color guy is Merv Johnson. The sideline analyzing for the Sooner Radio Network is done by a guy up in Tulsa. Works at the Buzz. His name's Chris Plank. And also doing sidelines is a good friend of myself and Toby's from Sports Top 1400 with Toby, our former defensive tackle from the Chicago Bears, Dusty Dvorak, and former Oklahoma Sooner, and then NFL linebacker for the Detroit Lions, Teddy Lehman. TV analyzing will be done by Mike Patrick will do the play-by-play, and Ed Cunningham will do the color analyzing. And Janine Edwards will be the sideline reporter. Things to know about this series is this is an interesting stat. And before I get to the end of the reading the stat, I want you to know I do not think that he's leaving. But Switzer, Wilkinson, and Fairbanks played their final game against the Clemson Tigers, and all of them left a little prematurely before everyone thought they would. Of course, Wilkinson, in 1964, he left for politics. Kind of like what the former Nebraska coach did there. Chuck Fairbanks left in 1972 for a big-time dream in the NFL. Spent some time with the Patriots. before going to Arizona, but he left for the Patriots. And then, of course, the Switzer. We all know what happened there in 1988. That's when he resigned from Oklahoma. That's an interesting stat that all three of those coaches left prematurely when everyone thought that they'd be able to stick around, and that their final game was against Clemson. In those games against Clemson, Oklahoma has a 2-1 record. Wilkinson's team in 1963 beat Clemson in Norman 31-14. Fairbanks' version also beat Clemson in 72, 52-3. But Switzer's team is the team that lost it. In the Capital One Bowl, they lost to Clemson 13-6 in 1988. The Clemson Tigers are coached by Dabo Swinney in his 5th year as the coach of the Clemson Tigers. It does not include the 2008 version of the Clemson Tigers when he took over for Bowden's son. Through 09 to now, he's got a 86-60 record. Their best win this year was a 30-17 victory over Louisville at Clemson. Both ties, he has a 3-3 record. 500, so right at 500 right in there. 2013, though, the last time out, they beat Ohio State in the Orange Bowl 40-35, giving Ohio State a second consecutive loss. Of course, they also lost in the Big Ten title game to Michigan State. Conference titles, since Bob got there in 1999, he's got 3 of them. Dabo has all 3, by the way. Had one in 2009, 2011, and 2012. Conference or divisional titles. Not really conference titles, but also divisional titles. Their best win last season was probably the one again that they had against Georgia. At Georgia, 35-38 win this year. Last year in Georgia, breakdown 9-3 this year, 6-2 in league action. All 9 wins and 3 losses. They include games like a 21-45 win or loss at Georgia. They lost at Georgia before bouncing back against South Carolina State, 73-7 win there. And their second loss came at Florida State, 17-23, and in Tallahassee, before getting back on the winning side by 15 points, 50-35 against North Carolina. Then they shut out NC State 41-0 before beating Louisville 23-17 this season. Before heading on the road and taking care of Boston College 17-13. Before taking care of Syracuse 16-9. They then beat at Wake Forest. They won 34-20. They then lost another divisional game. They lost at Georgia Tech 28-6 before losing to Georgia State before beating Georgia State. 28-0. And then they won their divisional, their non-conference rivalry game against South Carolina. Won that one 35-17. To finish with a record of 9-3 and 6-2 in ACC action. Of course, Bob Stoops, all 16 years here at Oklahoma, with an 8.02 winning percentage going into this year. 185 and 158 and 39 overall wins and losses. 10-3 last year, second in the Big 12 play. Their best bowl win last year was against Oklahoma State. Their best non-bowl win, before they went to their bowl game and won 45-31 against Alabama in the Sugar Bowl. Increasing Bob's winning percentage in bowls to 7-7. Conference titles or divisional titles in the Stoops era. Of course, won the one in 2000 before winning another in 02, 04, 06, 07, and 08, and won 2 more in the next decade in 2010 and 2012. Oklahoma went 8-3 this year, or 8-4, 8-4 this year. Started off with a nice win over Louisiana Tech, 48-16, before at Tulsa, 52-7, before heading home to play Tennessee, 34-10, before getting a big road win at West Virginia, 45-33. Then came all the losses at 25th ranked TCU's, where that started. Got a loss 37-33 to TCU in Fort Worth before bouncing back in the Metroplex against Texas. 31-26 win over Texas in the Cotton Bowl before another loss. 31-30 loss against 14th ranked Kansas State. Bounced back again on the road, 59-14 win over Iowa in Ames at Iowa State. Before coming home and losing another home game, second straight home game, 48-14 loss against 12th ranked Baylor before heading back on the road and getting a big, nice road win, 42-30 at Texas Tech. Finally did get another home win, 44-7 over Kansas State. And of course, are coming off the home loss to Oklahoma State, 38-35 in overtime against the Cowboys. Now the Sooners and the Clemson Tigers are ready to face each other in Orlando for the Russel Athletic Bowl 2014. Should be interesting to find out what happens here. Trevor's back from his injury. Sterling's back. Everybody's getting healthy again. We all thought that. And then Matt Romar goes down. Actually was carted off the practice field either yesterday or the day before, Thursday or Friday. So see if the Sooners can bounce back from that. Luckily, Matt wasn't a starter, but did play significant minutes in the games. So next time out, we'll have the post-game show, and then we'll have to start all over again. Luckily, Oklahoma will start all over again 0-0. And we'll play Akron in that one. Till then, remember to follow me on Facebook or find me on Twitter at SoonerFanOK. Facebook is my name, Harry James Taylor. Thanks for watching, everybody. And as always, Boomer Sooner, everybody. Take care.